What's going on, guys? It's Steven from the BS Show, and you already know we got to talk about this fight on November 21st, UFC 255. Cody Garbrandt's going to be dropping down to flyweight to take on Dievison Figueiredo in his first title defense, and I am absolutely stoked about this one. I know what you're probably thinking. Hey, didn't we already get a video on this a couple weeks ago from Brett? And yes, you did, but that's one of the perks of subscribing to the BS Show, is sometimes you get two videos for the price of one because we both have thoughts on the fights. So yeah, I'm making a fight thought video on it because I really like this fight, and it's probably the most excited I've been for a flyweight fight in a real long time. So let's get into it. Now, typically when a fight like this gets made where someone moves up or down in weight, there are casualties and fighters get leapfrog, and in this situation there is no shortage of casualties like Jussier Formiga or Brandon Moreno. So yeah, there's probably a few unhappy flyweights left in the wake of this, but I do side with the UFC making the Cody Garbrandt versus Figueiredo fight just because these guys were talking some smack online. Cody Garbrandt's been talking about moving down for a while, and then most importantly, this is a great opportunity to bring eyes to the flyweight division because, as you all may know, the flyweight division was in jeopardy not too long ago until Henry Cejudo won the belt. But now Henry Cejudo is retired from the sport of MMA, and the flyweight division needs a new face. And this is the perfect fight to solidify a face of the flyweights because Cody Garbrandt's a well-known fighter. He's won the belt, and moving down to fight a killer in Figueiredo, the hype's through the roof. I love this fight so much, and I'm glad that the flyweight division's finally going to get the attention that it deserves. Personally, I felt like DJ was a great champion, but for some reason, fans just did not gravitate to him. It was the hardcores that enjoyed seeing what he does and how skilled he was in there, but the UFC needs someone in the flyweights that could shut your lights out, who puts on exciting and violent fights. And trust me when I say this, both Cody Garbrandt and Figueiredo are exciting and violent. Now that we kind of discussed why this fight makes sense, let's get into the real talk. Let's match these two up, starting with fight experience. Over on Dievison Figueiredo's side, he's pretty much ran through the whole flyweight division, beating people like Joseph Benavidez, John Moraga, and Tim Elliott, and even having a really close fight to Jussier Formiga, which in my opinion I thought he won. But yeah, my only knock on him would be that the flyweight division really isn't that deep, but that's not really his fault there now, is it? Yes, both these men made it to the pinnacle of their division and have held the championship belt, but I'm leaning towards Cody Garbrandt for fight experience or cage experience just because I feel like he did it in a deeper division and beating legends like Dominic Cruz and also having two wars versus someone like TJ Dillashaw. I always say this, I feel like you learn more from a loss than from a win, and I do feel like Cody Garbrandt has learned his lesson not to let his ego get involved when he gets hit or not to be over aggressive when he gets someone hurt. I do feel like he learned a lot from those two TJ Dillashaw fights and that Paige Vanzant fight. Losing 3 times the same way almost has to hurt, and I'm sure Cody Garbrandt had a lot of sleepless nights thinking about his over aggressiveness and how he's let his ego lose him fights in some cases. And I think we've seen a product of his change versus Rafael at Sunsao, because we definitely saw a much more relaxed, calm, and reserved Cody Garbrandt. So I'm excited to see him implement that more in the future. But now let's move on to our next subject, which is striking. And this is going to be a tough one to pick because both of these guys are very skilled strikers. Cody Garbrandt's more of a boxer, has great footwork, good head movement, and he likes fighting in that close boxing range. He's good at fighting in that range, and he has power. His chin has been a little questionable after the TJ Dillashaw and Pedro Munoz fight, but hopefully that time Cody Garbrandt took off helped his chin recover. Similar to Stipe after he fought Ngannou, and then he fought DC. DC knocked him out, but then when Stipe took some time off and recovered, it seemed like he could eat DC's punches more in the second and third fight. So maybe Cody Garbrandt just needed to take a break from the sport. But now let's move on to Dievison Figueiredo. What do I say about this guy? I mean, he's just a killer everywhere. Everything he throws has bad intentions behind it. He's great with the jab. He's great with the straight, throwing those uppercuts in there, and he has killer leg kicks. So yeah, this is going to be a tough one, guys, to pick. So you know what? I'm going to cop out again, and I'm going to call this one a draw. But now let's move on to our third and final topic, which is the ground game. And we'll start off with Cody Garbrandt. Cody trains at Team Alpha Male, which is a pretty wrestling heavy gym. You got fighters like Uriah Faber, Chad Mendez, Joseph Benavidez, and even Sarah McMahon, who's been to the Olympics for wrestling, rotating in and out of that gym. So yeah, most fighters in that gym have a wrestling core, but I wouldn't consider Cody a wrestler really. He's more of a boxer in my opinion, but he does have those skills if he needs them. Now, Dievison Figueiredo on the other hand is a crafty black belt in jiu-jitsu. Just like Cody, he prefers to stand up and attack you that way, but if it goes to the ground, he's going to be attacking you with submissions. I mean, he's tapped out vets like Joseph Benavidez and Tim Elliott, so you know Figueiredo's jiu-jitsu is legit. So for the ground game, I have to go with Figueiredo in this one. But now, the moment in the video where I put my MMA nerd cred on the line and I make a fight prediction. Let's do this. Personally, I love the fact that Cody Garbrandt took some time off to assess his career. He even moved to New Jersey to train with Mark Henry. But with that being said, I'm going with Dievison Figueiredo. I just feel like he has much more ways to win. I mean, if it goes to the ground, he's more skilled there. He can fight at distance. He has great leg kicks, straights, but he could even fight in the pocket where Cody likes to fight because he's the bigger and stronger fighter. I know Cody's the one moving down, but Dievison is definitely the stronger and bigger guy with the longer reach. So I'm going with Dievison Figueiredo. But there you have it. That's my prediction. Signed, sealed, and delivered. I'm probably about 60-40 on this one. But let me know who you guys think is going to win in the comments below. You know I love that positivity and people that actually have fight conversations in the comments instead of coming with the negativity. Now, obviously, all opinions in all forms are welcome. But all I ask is if your little troll fingers can't help themselves, at least come creatively with that smoke. Don't just tell me I'm a dumbass that doesn't watch MMA, because that's not true. My favorite gym is Tapout. My favorite fighter is Dana White. And my favorite car girl is Paige Vanzant. So I know MMA, okay? Alright. All jokes aside, Jesus, I put way too much CBD in my coffee, guys. Sorry. So this is probably a good time to end the video. But I love you guys. I appreciate all the support. But until next time, peace.